Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it's Glenda Sully After Dark. So I've had a few of y'all ask me about why I started my YouTube channel, but before I get into answering that question, I want to say welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here or just passing through or just got my video in your feed, I ask you to please subscribe to my channel. And about 45% of my regular viewers are not subscribers. So all you have to do is just hit that little red button down there, and it will make a big difference in my channel analytics and how YouTube views my channel and the advertisers that YouTube puts my channel up there to be bid on for them to advertise on. And I do want to get some good advertisers that pay well. So I'm just asking you to please just hit the little subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free, and you don't have to even be notified when I upload a video. But if you do want to be notified, then hit the little notification bell. And I do appreciate all of my regular subscribers who are here day in and day out, watching and listening and reading comments and answering them and asking me questions and leaving comments for me and even commenting back and forth to each other in our YouTube family. You know, we have formed a tight bond here, and we have learned a lot about one another and about each other's needs, and we have really, made a close companionship here and a sense of camaraderie. And I just want to thank you for all of that, because there's no way that I could have done it on my own. So let's just go back to the summer of 2017. Okay, so I had left that nanny job. I don't even know anymore which job was the last job that I had. I don't know if it was taking care of Roberta or if it was that nanny job. I do kind of have my years mixed up and everything, because some of that time I was still living with Jill. We were sharing an apartment over in Continental Gardens in Ocean Township. But then when she met Husani and they started dating and they got engaged, then she moved to Brooklyn to be near him. So then that's when I found the little studio apartment there on 7th Avenue in Asbury Park. So I was living there, and the rent was $600 a month, and my Social Security income was $900 a month. So you can just imagine the stress that I was under. And actually that studio apartment at $600 a month is a steal. I mean, it's just almost impossible to get an apartment on the Jersey Shore, or anywhere in New Jersey, for under $700 or $800 a month. So I was lucky to get that, and I knew it. So I didn't fret over the amount of rent that I had to pay, but I did fret over how was I going to pay the insurance on my car, which was, in New Jersey, it was about $120 a month, because I still had a loan on it at that time. So I had to have full coverage. Y'all excuse me, but my mouth gets dry. And for all of y'all who take antidepressants, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go refill my ice bottle. Okay, so I have fresh water, ice cold. So anyway, I was really struggling, and so I started watching videos on how to, I was thinking about maybe I could trade in my car and get a small van or a little minivan or something and maybe live in it. I knew that I would have to leave Jill, but at that time, Issa was not even born yet, and it wasn't like I was going to be leaving my grandchildren, which there's no way I could ever do anything like that now. But at the time, I was free to move and, live wherever I wanted to live. So I found Bob Wells on YouTube, and I started watching his videos. And, he interviews a lot of people who live in their cars, not out of choice, but out of necessity. So from viewing his videos, I came across Deborah Joy. And at that time, she was living in her van that she had named Tank. And if any of y'all are not familiar with Deborah Joy, I will leave her channel linked in the description below. And she's amazing, y'all. And she finally got her own little cottage, and that's where she's living today. And she just tells her everyday life stories, just like I do. And you get to watch her, and she's redoing her little cottage. I'm not going to tell you too much about it, because I want you to see how how she lives her life and how interesting her videos are. But anyway, since a few of y'all have been asking me, why did you start a YouTube channel? Actually, I didn't even know anything about YouTube. I did not even have a YouTube account or had not even watched any YouTube videos. But I knew that I was desperate. I was in a situation to where I didn't even have money for food. I mean, it was a struggle just to come up with enough money to keep milk and eggs and bread in the house. Now, I didn't have to pay utilities, except in the summertime, I had to pay John an extra $75 for the summer to pay for the window unit that I had in my apartment. And that was an old unit that Jill had given me when she moved. So I started watching these videos about living in a van what I wanted to do was learn how to remove the passenger side seat out of my car and make a bed and put it in there. And then set up, make room in the trunk and maybe have a little, maybe a little tent or something that I could take with me and maybe camp in a state park or someplace. I just didn't know, but I knew that I could no longer afford rent, not living on $900 a month Social Security. And I had applied for Section 8 housing, but the waiting list in Asbury Park was 10, 15 years away. So that was out of the question also. So anyway, I started watching these YouTube videos, and I was watching Deborah Joy, and she would just get in tank every day, or just get up from sleeping in tank and go right around and go to McDonald's and get her breakfast and everything, and just tell stories about her life and things that she did throughout the day. And I was thinking, well, I think I've had a pretty interesting life. I believe that I can do something like that. So the first video that I made, I will attach it below, but it's called An Old Green Truck. And y'all, I was so bloated and fat and just felt disgusting. I think I looked about as disgusting as I felt at the time. I was in a severe depression. I had no self-esteem, no sense of self-worth. I had just gotten myself into such a depressed state and bored, and I knew that I could not go back to doing the caregiving. One thing was because I had ruptured my diaphragm when I was lifting Marco, and my diaphragm had come through and was pushing my stomach up against my heart. So I had to have major surgery to have that repaired. And the doctor put in one of these mesh screens to hold everything in place. So I was not allowed to lift anymore. So I could not find another job with caregiving that didn't require some type of lifting or some type of physical activity that I was no longer able to do. So I just thought, well, let me see if I can start this YouTube channel. Well, I only had an old phone at the time, an old Android. It was a smartphone. It wasn't a flip phone. So it was possible to start the YouTube channel and to record a few videos. But then I had to go to the library to use the computer and do all the paperwork associated with setting up a YouTube channel and, getting the YouTube Studio app and all that kind of stuff. And it was difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're not technically savvy like I am not, then it's going to be difficult for you. But if you are in a situation that I was at that time, living on Social Security only, and you can't make ends meet, you're struggling, you don't have money to buy food, maybe you're just eating beans and rice every day, and I would go to the food pantry once or twice a week and get my canned foods. And I remember they were giving out cans of chicken and dumplings, and I thought, oh my goodness, that sounds so good. So I would take that can of chicken and dumplings and heat it up and eat the whole can, but I would just be deathly sick afterwards because I think the can had about 1,500 milligrams of sodium in it, but I had to eat it. That's what they were giving me, and that's all that I had in the house to eat, even though it made me sick as a dog afterwards. So, we would be given pizzas and things like that. I even have a few videos of meals that I prepared using the food pantry items only, and I was thankful to get those items. So anyway, I just started, sitting there on my little worn out leather sofa and turning my camera on and telling stories about my life growing up in South Mississippi. And I started out with maybe 6 subscribers, which was my 2 sisters and my son and my daughter and my son-in-law and Dale and a couple of my friends. And then I finally got 10 and 12 and 15 subscribers, and I kept leaving Deborah Joy comments. Do you think you could give me a shout out? I would just appreciate it so much. I'm really struggling. I need a shout out. And she was so kind enough to give me a shout out. And most of y'all came from Deborah Joy's channel. So thank you so much for coming over from her channel and for sticking with me through these past 3 years. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And, we have been through some difficult times. I will show you some of the figures here to do with the channel, starting out and everything. And when you first start out, you don't have to worry about getting AdSense because you're not going to make any money for probably a year or 2. But I started writing names down, and my subscribers, I wanted to know about you, and I knew I couldn't remember everything, so I would just jot your name down and write a little biography about you. Some of you would say, oh, I was married to an alcoholic for 25 years, so I would jot that down because I wanted to be able to relate to you and to understand your life and your struggles too. So I have all these notes on everybody, and a lot of these subscribers are not with me anymore, but many of you are still with me. Ann Wright, I know you're still with me. Let's see. I don't know whatever happened to Jean Foster, or just hoofing it. I don't hear from her anymore. Let's see, who else is with me? Louise Peel, Leslie Johnson is still with me. Let's see. Nancy Devo, I haven't heard from you in a while. I need to hear from you. NH Libra, I still see her over there on Rosie's channel a lot. I'm not there yet. Gary and Diane. On Next Chapter, yes, Gail is still here with me. But I have y'all's names in here and notes about your life, and it's just so interesting. And Sharon Merritt, you're still here with me, and let's see. Oh, I don't know, just so many. It's so good to look back and read about y'all and everything, and still know a little bit about you. Ann Flavel. But whenever you start a YouTube channel, you're going to meet people from all over the world. Y'all know I have subscribers in Scotland and England and Ireland. I have a few even in Pakistan, different places like that. Of course, I have subscribers from, I think, every state in the United States of America. I have a lot of Canadian subscribers, a lot from Australia, Darren and George and Robin. I just have wonderful Australian subscribers. So you will get to meet a lot of people. So it's really worth the time and effort and energy that you put into your channel. Now, you may not know this by my videos, but I am very shy. I mean, I didn't even start talking until I was 5 years old. I was still talking, mumbling and talking baby talk. I wouldn't ask for a grilled cheese, but I would ask for, Mama, can you make me a grilled cheesy? Just all this stupid baby talk. So I am very shy. So I think as I did my videos, I became more outgoing and more charismatic, and my real personality finally revealed itself, and I'm thankful for that, because nobody wants to sit there and watch someone who's boring and who has no charisma or no personality. So you do have to have a personality, or you at least have to develop a personality. So when you first get started, I really only started taking notes at the 6-month period. It was April. So I started my channel September the 27th, 2017. And then I started taking notes here was 6 months later in April. And then even then, you can see I only had 558 subs. And I had only 32,327 views. And now have over 5 million views. So, I mean, you just never know what direction your channel is going to go in. I mean, even when you have, valleys, you just suffer through and you just keep pushing through and going through because you will reach the peaks again. I was thinking about a book that I read while I was incarcerated, and it was Corrie ten Boom's book, and it's titled The Hiding Place, and it talks about how they hid the Jews from the Nazis and how they protected them, and then they were eventually caught and put into concentration camps there in Germany. But she has a lot of good quotes. I will see if I can find her book on Amazon, and I will leave it in the description below. But she says, never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God. And I tell you, I have really said many prayers during the day and at night, just trusting the future of this YouTube channel to my God, who I know is there and listening to me, and He's going to answer my prayers. And then Corrie ten Boom also quoted, worry is a cycle of inefficient thoughts, whirling around a center of fear. And that's true. When you worry, then you're still, dredging up all of this panic and fear in your gut. That's not good. So I do recommend her book. And I think I'm just going to get started on this new series. It will be part of my real life on Social Security because it's detailing or chronicling the reason that I started the YouTube channel, because I was living real life on Social Security. I was struggling and I was hungry. And there's a way out of that cycle of poverty. And you just have to be open to new ideas and new suggestions. And you just need to get one little tiny job. I was thinking if I could just get $100 more a month, that would solve my problems. And I was so happy when I finally did make my $100 on YouTube. And you can do it too. So please give me a thumbs up and share my videos. And y'all just keep on coming back. Good night, guys.